thanks again to Logitech G and the G432 7.1 surround sound gaming headset for sponsoring this video. To check out the tech behind the G432, click the link in the description.
Hey there! Look what I found in the weeds!
Get your fucking hands off me! You gonna regret this.
Yeah, whatever.
Now, you be careful, Daryl. She might be one of them swamp witches.
Yeah, and I'm the fucking president. Now get back to
Hello and welcome to Rock Paper Shotgun. This is Matthew speaking, and today we are looking at Desperados 3, which I've just seen being played here at Gamescom. This is a new character they're showing off, Isabelle Moreau, and we're going to be taking a look at some of her fancy new powers as she attempts to escape from a cage. Why is she in this cage? We don't know. We have literally just joined her at this point in the game. She's locked away. She has no means of getting out and has to turn to her strange mind control powers. Now, if you're completely new to Desperados 3, I recommend watching my video from last year's Gamescom, which a link will pop up on screen, and that explains all the basics, and we're going to dig into this. It's from Me Games, who made Shadow Tactics, which is kind of a sort of homage to those old real-time tactics games like Commandos or the original Desperados. So they are the perfect team to be making this. So here we've just seen Isabelle hit someone with a mind control dart, so she's now in command of this guard. The guard doesn't have many powers, as you can see in the top left hand corner. He can shoot, that's basically it, but maybe he can get the key to the cage.
Go.
Yes, Isabelle, very clever using your witching ways, except when he unlocks the cage we get the old sight cones. He's murdered horribly, and it all goes horribly wrong. Zero escape, and some strange man's blood on your hands, although he did probably deserve it, because he did put you in the cage to begin with. And now, as is always the way in these games, once everyone's upset, they go zipping around looking for the culprit, even though the culprit is the man they just shot in the head. But you gotta check these things.
Who wants to volunteer?
So we're going to try a different approach.
Going for it.
Another dart.
Spent.
I'll explain some of the stuff around how her other powers work and how ammo and whatnot works in a bit. But now we've taken control, we're going to try a bit more of a stealthy approach. Yes, it's time for a crunch. Environmental kill. It looks like an accident, so no one is none the wiser. No one thinks you've done it. If you watch the earlier preview video, you'll see how the game has almost worked in elements of Hitman, in that there's a lot more kind of environmental stuff. It's not a lot that came from Shadow Tactics, to be fair, but it is new to Desperados. But while this guy's checking out the boxes over here, we can open up the cage. Oh yeah, that's a quick save. You're going to see a lot of those quick save screens, because if you've played these real-time tactics games, you'll know that quick saving is really important. Now we can use this man's guns. Normally guns are an unwise idea in a game which is largely driven by stealth, but here we can do him away. And now we've left him, his body, we've left the mind control, which means he's been knocked out. We have a timer, you'll see that circle slowly going down, but we've chosen to tie him up. That's basically this game's equivalent of a non-lethal takedown. If you tie him up, they're out for good. Of course, you can just murder them once they're on the ground, so a lot of it's up to you if you want to try and get that non-lethal run through, or not. You can just murder him away, like this poor bastard. Yeah, if you played Shadow Tactics, you'll know that one of the cool things about the game is it has this sort of not ranking system, but system of badges at the end of the missions for completing them in certain ways, and one of those is often a non-lethal takedown version. So their ability to tie people up permanently, kind of knocking them out, is a nice way of doing that. Now, Isabelle is one of the two characters in the game who can swim, which makes sneaking around extra useful. And here we're going to see one of her really cool powers. This is Connect, which you might recognise as Dishonored's Domino. And you'll see why now. Burst fire dart into one person, and then those two people are now linked, so their fates are linked. Whatever happens to one happens to the other. So in classic fashion, cutting the throat here, cuts his throat up there as well. I know that you should probably be going for a non-lethal takedown version, but come on, that looked great. Her third power is a lot cuter than simultaneously cutting 2 throats at once. She has a tiny little cat, which she can send out to distract people. Stella purrs. Good subtitle work.
You got some work to do.
You also notice PlayStation button cues. This is the PC version. They were playing it with a pad. It makes for a slightly more minimal interface. Here we just cut this guy's throat, and of course you have to hide him away in the bushes because that's what we do in these games, so we don't get into trouble. Oh, that was careful. So with the sight cones, if you walk into the solid green bit, you'll get spotted. If you see the kind of hatched green area, you can crouch and not be seen in that area, or you can hide in a bush. Also works. Linking more people together.
Ready, Stella? Come on, go.
Distract one, you distract them both. Kill one, you kill them both. It really is very simple. But what a brilliant skill. I did wonder if it was so overpowered that it may break the game, but the developers seem pretty, certain that they've built enough of a challenge around it. But it certainly opens up a lot of opportunities, and we'll show you some cool stuff as we go through the demo.
Yeah, I'll send him to the other side.
A simple knockout will suffice.
Go to sleep.
Conk. Tying him up. This person's playing nicely. I'm far more vicious. I know that you should be playing it stealthy. So we've reached this kind of big sort of checkpoint in the level where we can see the kind of the wider goal. One of the cool things about the game is it seems a lot more open. What you'll have seen in our earlier video is the introduction of these civil areas, which are these big social hubs where you basically have multiple objectives and you can approach them in lots of different ways. Same with this level here. Basically, you found all the other members of the gang, the other playable characters in the game, but they've all been caged up, and it's up to Isabelle to kind of save them, and she can save them in any order she wants, which is quite handy. Also gets to show off the absolutely massive size of the levels. I mean, that's what I love about these games. You get these giant sort of maps which can take sort of 2 hours where you painstakingly kind of pick over them. Of course, which order the characters you rescue them in will change, how you do the level, because as you get new characters, you'll be getting their powers, and you can use their powers to save other people.
We'll make our exit. Now, you best pull your weight if you want to have student night. That sounds more
That's
like
some good cat writing.
Pull in the ground.
We've got John Cooper is down here having a little gunfight with the people on the riverbanks. Lots of long grass we can hide in. Lots of rivers to go swimming in. Some people in a cage. It's going to take more than a cat to solve some of this, I think. And of course, those beautiful 3D levels. I think it's a huge step up from Shadow Tactics, which was a handsome game. It had a slightly sort of almost cel-shaded kind of look to it, but this one is even better. So they've actually jumped forward in the demo now to a point where they've unlocked everyone, because like I said, the levels take ages, and we just have John Cooper to save, who is currently stuck on this boat. Unfortunately, as you can see from the view cones, the boat is very, very well guarded. There's these two guys here, and they happen to be on islands which have got tons of other guards. Yeah, this is a bit of a tricky one. So they're sending Isabelle swimming around the banks. Because of the rivers, that's one of the key elements of tackling this level in any order you want. You can basically swim her up to the bit you want to take on. Problem here, who do you pick off first? There are so many sight cones. They opt for the chap who's moving. They say to get rid of a moving sight cone is often the wise move. Try to eliminate him, but how to do it? If we kill him here by linking him to other characters, we can't really do that without catching everyone else's attention.
I need a new puppet.
So what she's doing here, she's actually using a healing. They've all got lots of healing. You can basically do unlimited heals, because whenever she uses her powers, it involves blood magic, which involves cutting her hand. So she actually hurts herself. So here, where she's taking command of our little walking friend, she had to cut her hand to do it. While she's got control of him, this is Hector. He's another character. He's like the big kind of bear of the group. He can carry multiple bodies. He can chuck him into the bushes. He's also got a big, powerful shotgun, which is going to come in handy. So while he's been moved up there, we can now take our little brainwashed friend for a stroll. I was actually really impressed with the range that your magic has. I thought it would be really limited, and that's how they would kind of keep the power in check. But you can really walk him quite far away from all his friends. And now that he's here and slightly out of action, it's time to switch back. How are we going to do him in? Bit of an axe to the face. Time to use Bianca.
She's ready.
No, this was a slightly more sadistic demo. Take control and look at this animation. This is absolutely fantastic. Timber!
This is nothing.
This is nothing. Well, maybe that's when you know you've seen one too many men killed by bear traps, when you can sniff at that. Time to hide him in some bushes, set up some other future plans. So with that guy gone, you've now got a slightly easier time. You've still got another chap walking to and from, and they're riskier. So what they've actually identified is, as you see a sight cone swing round onto this rock, you'll see that it blocks off an area behind. So that's the one area on this little island where we are safe to go after this guy. And who better to do it than our sniper friend, the Doc, up on his hill with his little sniper sight. Unfortunately, he doesn't have his weird-ass balloon-propelled bomb system from the original Desperados. It was just too daft. One of the cool things about playing on a controller, actually, is once you've lined the sights up on him, you can let go of the analog stick, and then the sight will track him. So all you have to do is fire when he walks past into this little secret area, which I thought was very cool. It's all about helping you pull off some cool stuff. The Doc has a blue circle around him. I don't know if you saw it there. That's the area that his sniper bullet can be heard. He's obviously tucked away. No one can hear him. Now he can go off. That's another guard down.
I could do this.
Isabelle's got a perfect position to do what she likes. She's going to do it. Healing again. Ooh. Swimming round to get the drop on a character. Ooh, a little nervous quick save.
Gatling gun, huh?
This is obviously just one solution. I'll be showing you some other solutions in a bit that we were shown. So let's link these two together.
I need a new put.
Oh, dang it, Casey! I think you hit me. It's all.
Got a little brain control buddy.
Gotta listen.
You can link anything living together. Doesn't have to be humans. Could be an animal, if you can find an animal. Oh, so this is really cool. What she's done is she's attacked this guy with himself. This has alerted the friend, and now it's gone down into Showdown mode. This has basically frozen time. I know it's real-time tactics, but they say this is a cool thing. And what you can basically do here is you can program in different moves for different characters, so that when you activate time, they do them at the same time. So you can basically program all these big simultaneous moves. There was a very similar mechanic in Shadow Tactics, but the difference was it didn't freeze time. There you had to program in moves and activate them in real time, so you couldn't basically get everyone lined up. They say it does sound powerful, and they did have like big doubts about adding it to the game in the first place. But now that they've got it, they actually really like the tactical edge it brings, which I think is quite cool. And if you don't like it, you can turn it off and play with the more traditional, strictly real-time. The whole game's got very customizable difficulty. You can basically build it as you want. So what we're doing here is programming in a headshot from the Doc, so when time resumes, We'll get that.
Good job. I'll use ready when you are.
He's aiming his shotgun at this guy here, because obviously when it all kicks off, this guy's going to hear the trouble from nearby. Anything in that red shotgun cone will die. Quick save, just in case it goes wrong. Also keep an eye out for the brainwash guy, because he's going to shoot the guy, and that's going to kill him, because they're linked. And... ta-da! Unfortunately, it did alert this nearby guard post. It wasn't quite a perfect plan, which has sent out 2 guys, so it all gets a little bit messy now.
Right.
But not so
That's
messy
how I did it.
that you can't fix it.
Whoever's out there, meet me on the deck.
Yeah, this is a bit of desperation, hiding inside the house, but they both walked inside that view cone.
Ready when you are.
Yeah, to say the least, we can kiss the old stealth takedowns goodbye.
Sit your eye on
And that has saved our man. So what we're going to do now is actually skip to see another way that this mission could have been done. So here we are, we're back. John is back on his boat. Everyone is back from the dead. They're going to try a slightly louder version by looking at this Gatling gun. As you do the levels, you'll hear characters talk about things in the level, which maybe give you hints of how you could approach things. So in this case, you may hear them talk about the Gatling gun.
Made short work of that little
Of course,
thing. Maybe
it's
it'll give me a
pretty
taste
well
of that.
surrounded, so you don't want to go in as one of your own heroes. Luckily, Isabelle eats a bit of her health, chops her hand,
Here goes.
and in goes the mind control magic.
I need a minute. I'm still dizzy.
Of course you are.
Now, this
Let me have a look at
really
that.
isn't a very stealthy approach, but it is quite cool.
Just leave me be. Over there.
It's time to murder them all! Get the guards out. Get them too. Yeah, nice. So one of the interesting things we were talking about with them is that, you know, the game has this very slow pace, so they've deliberately added some quite noisy, big, satisfying elements that tend to come towards the end of a level. So they said, like the Gatling gun, or another level, you know, you can throw some dynamite. So they put these options to basically let off some steam. They did a closed beta, and the devs were telling me the thing that they were most surprised by, or probably most pleased by, were that people did embrace these loud elements. It wasn't just about the stealth game, so it was nice to see the long-term fans kind of really embracing all the destructive stuff they'd added. And as a final demonstration of Isabelle's powers, we're going to go for an even messier attempt at connecting an enemy and one of the heroes. It isn't as silly as it sounds. I actually, in some other stuff the developers showed me, I saw them link a person and a chicken, which was quite good, and then they mind-controlled the chicken. No, they didn't mind-control the chicken, they then let the chicken walk into one of the bear traps to kill the guard. I also saw them link a guard to a guard who was tied up, and then by chucking the guard in the river, it makes the guard who was connected to drown on land, which was also pretty amazing.
Sit your eye on something.
So what we're actually seeing here is Isabelle link Hector, who's our big burly man, to one of the guards. Hector has a lot of health, that's one of his powers, he's a lot stronger, so when he takes a bullet from a guard, it kills the guard that shoots him. Unfortunately, while that's really clever on paper, it did set off a huge chain, which is actually where I'm going to end this video. You do get to see Hector try an immense attempt at killing all these guards at once in one shotgun cone. But he gets 3 of them, which is pretty impressive, but then bites the bullet. So that is a very quick run through of Isabelle's new powers and one of the new levels in Desperados 3. I'm incredibly excited for this game. I think it looks absolutely amazing. I love the dinky little levels. I kind of prefer the cowboy theme to the samurai theme in Shadow Tactics. I really love the powers. I think they're so creative. You know, in fact, I want to see what challenges can possibly defy such an interesting range of powers. I'm going to have a video on the channel probably in a few weeks with more stuff stuff from the game. They showed me some other cool stuff with other characters, some other levels, kind of dig a bit deeper into some of the other ideas to show you just how clever Desperados 3 is. You know, it's not just a beautiful homage to this era of real-time tactics, but it really kind of elevates it and has ideas that wouldn't be out of place in an immersive sim or a Hitman game even. It really is packed with ideas. I think this is going to be absolutely fantastic. It's coming out before the end of the year, that's all we know. I cannot wait to play more of this, and I hope you will watch that earlier video which introduces some of the basics, and I hope you subscribe and stick around for that video where I show you a lot more other cool stuff. So thanks for watching Rock Paper Shotgun, and enjoy a little exit message from one of our sponsors. Goodbye. And thanks again to Logitech G for sponsoring this video. Featuring 50mm audio drivers, a 6mm mic and DTS Headphone X 2.0 surround sound technology, the G432 headset immerses you in the action and ensures you'll be heard for a complete gaming experience. Find out how to order yours by following the link in the description.